Hey guys, Erin Elise here, and I am so excited to welcome you to Breadcrumbs TV. This is our first episode, and today we're going to be discussing 3 reasons why you can start today. Except, I already wrote this on the blog, so what I want to do is I want to do a spin on it, and I want to talk about the beauty in starting small. Because the blog post talks about why you can start, but I want to talk about why it's beautiful to start small, because I think we've lost sight of that. I feel like social media has just robbed us of the luxury and the growth and the time and the humbling period that we go through when we start small. So, without further ado, shall we? Reason number 1 why it's beautiful to start small. You are learning yourself all over again. You're learning what you are capable of. You are learning along the way. So you're gonna mess up. You're gonna make mistakes. It's bound to happen. We all do. When I first started my business, I feel like I made umpteenth mistakes. But that's okay because I'm on a smaller platform. So when I make those mistakes, they're not so public. You don't want them to be very public. While you're still in this stage of starting and growing and learning, you can't afford for some of those mistakes to be public. Number 2, you are able to see what God is capable of doing with the little that you're bringing to the table, really. I mean, he makes miracles happen out of the little stuff that we have. He can do something major with that little thing that you're side-eyeing. Like, I can't do anything with this. So-and-so got such and such camera. So-and-so got that light ring. So-and-so has XYZ amount of finances. So-and-so has the look. I don't have any of that stuff. Okay, let's look at what you do have and watch God do something amazing with it. I need to do a sidebar here because I feel like this point is so major. When I was younger, growing up, elementary school to be exact, we were not doing well at all financially. And so my grandmother, the amazing woman that she was and is in my heart, she would make my sister and I's clothes. She would go to the store, she would look at the trends that were out and the patterns at that time, and she would spend all day long while we were at school sewing and making our outfits. And I'm sorry, I can't do anything about that background noise. It's probably the 5th time that I've reshot this. We're going to move along. So she would spend all day, right, sewing and pouring her time and her energy and her love into these clothes that we were going to wear. And so when she was done, she would tell us to stand up, and she would hold what she just made. Like, she would put it against us, and she would say, okay, stand up real tall. Okay, now turn to the side. Okay, let me fine tune it here. Let me do this. She started out with a piece of fabric. What you have right now is a piece of fabric. And what God does is he says, okay, let me sit down with you and let me work on this. Okay, stand up real tall. Okay, hold your head up, turn to the side. Okay, watch what I just did with that little that you just had. And it's amazing. It will blow your mind. I can't even begin to tell you all the amazing things that God has done for me. Number 1, just period, but especially during the process of when I started my business and the last 2 years that I've had it. Even now, with the new things that I'm doing, this blog, the book that I have coming out, it's mind-blowing. So don't side-eye that little. Work that little thing and then give it to God and let him do something major with it. Because really, at the end of the day, that's the way to go anyway. Number 3. This is the time that you are allotted to grow. If you try to bypass this time, you are robbing yourself I'm going to say that again. You're robbing yourself of the opportunity to grow with what you're doing. You can't expect to have, and we all do this. I'm not just like, you can't expect. No, we all do this, myself included. We can't expect to have a major platform overnight. We can't expect to be making major money overnight. We have to grow with the work. We have to grow with what we're working. I have to grow with my business. If I don't, my business may grow, but I will not be in a position to keep my business. I won't be able to handle the incoming traffic. I won't be able to handle all the responsibility because I've chosen to try and I missed out. I've expedited the business process without growing into it. And so that's what you see with a lot of, young celebrities, or like back in the day, like the 90s singers. It's like, man, I had this platform and I had no idea what I was doing. Take that time, the time that you're feeling like it's taking too long. Hey, I'm talking to myself too here. And allow that to be the time that you grow, because you need that time. So those are a few pointers on why it's beautiful to start small. But I'm going to let you in on a short story, and then I'm going to go because it's already at 6 minutes. I know our attention spans are like, Nyeh. So when I started my business, I had just been fired from a job. Can you believe someone fired me, guys? Someone fired me. And I had just been promoted at this company. And so I called in, sick one day. I had some family issues going on. And they called me back the next day like, yeah, so what's going to happen is you're not coming back. We appreciate it. Bye. And I was just like, wow, God, what do I do? Ooh, God, what do I do? And that is when he planted that seed in me to start walking on my own. It's time for you to get your own company. I went to a mentor that I had at the time. I contacted her, let her know what I was trying to do, and I hit the ground running. She gave me a deadline on when to have like my social media page, my one page or info, like what I do and who I am. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much for, it was daunting, but I did it. And I could have looked at all the things that I didn't have. I could have looked at the experience that I didn't have. I could have looked at the finances that I didn't have. Because honestly, I started my company with some money that I had saved to the side to go back to school. I used that money to start my business. And it was the best decision that I have ever made. That was money well spent because my life has completely changed from that point. So there is beauty in starting small. Remember, you want to grow with what you're trying to do. You don't want to just walk into it overnight. I know it seems like ideal, but it's not. You want to be in a position where you can handle what you've worked towards. So those are some reasons why starting small is awesome. And, I love you guys. I want you to start. Don't let what you don't have hinder you from starting. Because just like I shared with the story with my grandmother, you take that little bit and you work it. And when you work that thing, God steps in and does the rest. You don't have to do everything, but you gotta do it due diligence. You gotta do it due diligence. You gotta put your time and your effort, your energy, your love, your passion into that thing and let it exude that. And that's what people see. People can overlook certain things. And if they don't, that's not your audience. Don't worry about that. But the people who are yours, your people out there that are waiting for you to start doing what you're supposed to be doing, they're not going to care about those things that you're so worried about that you don't have. Start today. Okay? I love you. You have a good day. Bye-bye.